Defence Procurement Manual. This is called Defence Procurement Manual 2025, and the aim is to ease up the procurement process, give more transparency, more visibility to manufacturers, and make sure that there is operational readiness at all times. Now, what are some of the key changes that have been introduced? Well, these are assured guarantees on orders for up to 5 years and reduction in penalties across various development phases. The guarantees also include upfront provision of 15% for maintenance of aerial and naval platforms. Mandatory NOCs for defence PSUs for open bidding has also been done away with. This comes at a time when India's estimated revenue procurement is at rupees 1 lakh crore. We're now joined by the former Vice Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Anil Khosla, and also Amit, who was former financial advisor to the Ministry of Defence. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on the show today. Air Marshal Khosla, how do you think these changes made in the Defence Procurement Manual after 16 years, how do they ease up things for the armed forces to meet their operational requirements on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, Parikshit, you brought out the key changes in the DPM, which has been announced in September 2025 now. And this is an evolutionary process. We started in 2002 with the DAP, then DPP and DPM, and this is, I think, 8th iteration of the process. And it's an evolutionary process, and it is evolving quite well. And these changes which have been brought out for ease of doing business will, spur the defense production ecosystem, the user, the academia, the developers, the DPSUs, private sector, MSMEs, you name it. I mean, it will be good for this thing. And these ease of doing business key changes which you have brought out will definitely affect the preparedness of the services, and it will result in a faster procurement because the private industry and the indigenization will take place, the supply chain will improve, and it will spur innovation, indigenization, collaboration within the country. And the playing field has been leveled with DPSUs, so the competitive spirit will come in. So overall, it will, directly as well as indirectly affect the op preparedness of the three services.
Right. Let me also get in Mr. Amit Cowshish, someone who has been a financial advisor, acquisitions in the Ministry of Defence. Mr. Cowshish, welcome to the show. What is the major difference that you see between the Defence Procurement Manual of 2009 and the Defence Procurement Manual that has been launched right now, especially when it comes to giving the three armed forces a certain degree of autonomy to meet their needs in a shorter period of time when it comes to maintaining their weapon platforms, repairing them, and also getting arms and ammunition at least till a certain threshold as soon as possible?
No, as of now, we don't have all the details, but going by MOD's press release, one gets the impression that there are certain powers which were earlier exercisable with the concurrence of the financial advisors, integrated financial advisors. For example, giving extension of delivery period and so on. Now, there the role of the IFA seems to have been minimized, if not eliminated. Collective collegiate vetting of the documents has been, I think, streamlined. Now, we don't know the details how this has been done, but going by, as I said, the MOD's press release, all these aspects have been taken care of, which should help expedite the decision making. But I must add a word of caution, which is that the devil lies in the details, and the problem earlier had been the manner in which some of the provisions were worded, which lent themselves to varying interpretations. Now, the sense I get from the press release is that that issue has been addressed, and the new document which has been released will not suffer from that kind of problem, which means that the disagreements which had become the bane of decision making will be minimized, thereby expediting the decision making. So I think that's one thing. Apart from that, for their new features, like they are not really new features, but I am sure that the indigenization and earlier DPM also provided for process for indigenization, but this time innovation has also been added to it. So there'll be more focus on developmental projects, which was not the case earlier. So the sense I get is that this DPM is less about outright procurement of goods and services. It's more about encouraging the industry to innovate, to manufacture, and thereby meet the requirement of the armed forces. So I think in that sense, it seems to have charted a new course.
Khosla as well. Right. Air Marshal Khosla, we have seen how in this manual, liquidated damages will not be levied during the development phase. Minimal liquidity damages of 0.1% will be levied post-development of the prototype, and maximum liquidity damages have been lowered to 5%, and in case of inordinate delays, the maximum penalty will be of 10%. Do you think it is important for the industry which is developing future technologies? This is an important move in that direction?
Yeah, rightly, very right. It is an important this thing, but it's a two-edged sword. On one hand, it will encourage the smaller companies, the MSMEs and private sector to come in because of this thing. On the other hand, in case it may encourage, little bit of laxity or in the approach. But I'm an optimist, so I feel that the overall effect of it will be in a better sense rather than in a negative sense. And since these companies will come in, so overall availability of supply chain, the redundancy, the quality, I think it will improve. And it is a transformation from punitive approach to collaborative approach, and I think it will work.
Okay, let me go back to Mr. Cowshish. Mr. Cowshish, the requirement of obtaining NOCs from some DPSUs before open bidding has been dispensed with, and tenders will be awarded purely on a competitive basis. Now, how is this important, and was this a long-term ask of the industry as well?
Well, I don't know if it was a long-term ask of the industry, but certainly it added to the total time taken in taking a decision on procurement. And if I don't know the details, but if now the provision is that regardless of what the item is, whether it is being manufactured by the DPSU or it is not being manufactured, but if you want to go in for competitive tendering and you don't have to obtain NOC from the DPSU, it will certainly shorten the time frame for procurement. And if we are bringing in competition, even in regard to the products which are being manufactured by the DPSU, certainly it will improve competition. It will help the industry, the private industry, and the overall quality and standards of the products which are being procured by the armed forces. So it's a step in the right direction. How this is going to play out is something which we'll have to wait and watch.
Right. Air Marshal Khosla, upfront provision of 15% and growth of work to be allowed in maintenance of various aerial and naval platforms to reduce equipment downtime. Why do you think this was important, and how does this help the three services in maintaining, servicing and repairing the weapon platforms and maintaining a certain level of operational readiness?
Yeah, this is very, very important subject. I mean, I remember when I was in service, we used to every meeting stress upon this sustainability issue. Like I give an example, very simple. If you have 100 aircraft and your serviceability is 60%, that means you're down to straight away 60%. So this sustainability is very, very important. And sustainability comes with, service provider giving you space, giving you in time, supply chain being robust. So the trend these days is a comprehensive package being given by the companies, where they not only supply you the equipment, but look at the life support philosophy also in terms of supporting it. So with that point in mind, this 50% which has been added, although it will be cost a burden to the government, but it will spur the industry, and industry will willingly invest in development of skill and infrastructure to support sustainability, and it will bring in redundancy in your supply chain, it will bring in availability of your spares, and overall the serviceability will improve. So obviously op efficiency will be much better with this clause.
Right. Mr. Cowshish, assured guarantee of orders in terms of quantity up to 5 years, and beyond that up to another 5 years in special circumstances. How is it different over the Defence Procurement Manual of 2009?
No, I think this was one of the long-term asks of the industry, because if there is certainty about the orders coming from the MOD, the industry is more enthusiastic about the production, and therefore it's something which will help the industry in scheduling its production. And 5 years time is not a small period. It's a very healthy time frame for which the assurance has been given in the DPM 2025. But the additional clause which has been included, which says that it can be extended by another 5 years in exceptional circumstances. Now that could be slightly problematic because this is a very subjective thing. Now, what are those exceptional circumstances or situations? This is subject to discussion, and people may have different views on that. So there could be some problem in that. But the first part of it is certainly going to be of great help in ensuring that the industry is more enthusiastic about you participating in defense tenders. But I want to add one more thing about this growth of work. This, even DPM 2009 had a provision for growth of work. I don't remember the percentage. Maybe it was 10%, maybe it was 15. I don't remember. But I think it was, again, it's subject to verification, but I think it was limited to naval platforms. Now, what has been done, I think...
You say 15% growth of work provision. What does that really imply?
It implies that when you actually give a contract, like, for example, when you give a contract for maintenance or repair or refit of a naval platform, now you don't know at that point of time, what all work is required to be done, because part of the platform is submerged in water. So you can't really carry out the full inspection of the platform and be very, very certain about the quantum of work to be executed on the platform. So once it is dried off, and then you make an assessment, the initial assessment may go up. So up to, say, 10 to 15 to 20%, whatever that percentage is, you don't have to go in for revised approval for the project. So that is why it is important. This provision was there for the naval platforms, but I think again, this is my memory. It may be off the mark completely, but I think it wasn't there for the aerial platforms. DPM 2025 seems to have made this provision for the aerial platforms also.
All right, we are going to put a final question right now on operational preparedness and jointness. Prime Minister Modi today at the Joint Commanders Conference in Kolkata has emphasized on the need for jointness, Atmanirbharta, innovation for enhanced operational readiness of the armed forces. During the Combined Commanders Conference in Kolkata, what should the next phase of reforms in the defense sector focus on, according to you, Air Marshal Khosta?
Yeah, so actually, if you see in Ops Sindoor also, we jointly conducted the operations very well. And, the response of three services was very, very coordinated and good. And headquarter IDS and CTS coming in, I think, has made a difference. And so lessons which are coming out of all the recent wars, not only Ops Sindoor, even Israel, Hamas, Russia, Ukraine, is self-reliance is the most important thing. If you take any military power, it has got a well-established ecosystem, defense production, and self-reliant, not only in defense production, in a lot of fields. So that is a basic bottom line. And I think the stress which is being given now, in 17 odd verticals, push is being given to achieve that self-reliance, make in India, make for the world. I think that's the right step. And we need to get the critical technologies in so that, we are not 100% self-reliant and not like Tejas, where the engine we are reliant on somebody else. So that is the need of the hour. So whatever procurement we do from outside or inside, it should support that overall aim of finally being fully self-reliant.
Okay, Air Marshal Khosla and Mr. Amit Cowshish, thank you so much for joining us for a very interesting discussion on the new Defence Procurement Manual 2025 and whether it will change things in terms of making it easier for the defence forces to acquire weapon systems, ammunition, get their weapon platforms repaired on time, and also help the suppliers and manufacturers as well. We're taking a short break, but don't go anywhere. Prime Minister Modi has said that India has embarked on the path of becoming self-reliant in the energy sector. We will speak to KPMG's Global Head of Energy, Anish De, on the other side.